Trust your emerald heart. Be who you came here to be. Unlock your true potential.
Hi, Victoria is here. Recently, someone connected with me saying, do you have one simple thing to start with which is easy to understand? And I was a little bit like, what? I mean, I understand that many different things which I have in the school maybe are not so easy to understand, but yet there is no symptom you want to address. There is no situation you want to face. There is no trauma you want to heal. What exactly do you want, right? And the person was like, have a look at my picture on my profile and tell me what I need, guide me. And I was like, yeah, for sure, I can do that. But if I tell you everything that I sense, you will be absolutely overwhelmed, because that will feel like too much. And the reason I'm saying that is because I see through many lifetimes and timelines. And oftentimes it is a lot that we have to face. That's why I want a person to know where he wants to get, because not everything he might be able to do at this very moment. What I mean is, we have many things from this life, from other lives, and timelines, parallel, future, past. Present moment is just a reflection of all other things. And when you say, it's like, I want to become more spiritual, it means pretty much nothing. When you say, I want to address my trauma, or I want to step onto the healing journey, I want to look deeper to understand what there is, it is a totally different thing. And then I ask questions like, what is your life like? What would you like more of? Reflect on the journey that you have had and tell me about your experience in relationship, in career, in emotional expression, in authentic expression. Like, what have your life been like up to this very moment? And it is very essential to reflect onto your journey once in a while. I don't want you to stay in the trauma saying, I am this and that because of that and that which happened to me. It is true, yes, this trauma shaped our experiences, but yet it's not the only way to perceive the reality, because most of the time the trauma gives us the opportunity to bring certain entanglements to the surface level so that we could address that. And those entanglements, they might have been something that our parents or great parents or some ancestors faced before. That may be something that we have faced in the previous situations also. And because of that, it all together became a projection to the current moment, to the current experience. I hope it makes sense. Let me know what you think about it. What is important is that life is not just linear, you're going from A to B, but it is spiral. So you're going deeper in the new experience. You have different perspective, a different version of yourself, so to speak. Something that triggered you in the beginning of the journey will not bother you at the end of the journey, so to speak. And it's also important to understand that sometimes it's opposite way, right? So when we are not on the path of healing, when we are not addressing the trauma, when we are not looking into the experience, we just get the projections of all those bubbles accumulated throughout life. And for example, a person keep on having dysfunctional relationship and keep on meeting partners who are triggering, who are narcissistic, and who are really disturbing the life and experience. And he keeps on having that, and in the new relationship he already has that projection with all the pain that was there before. And all the pain is not necessarily from this life, but it also a bubble from another life. And here I want to address a question of past life regressions, because many people are curious about those and many people want to go deeper into those. And when we do past life regressions, we can learn a lot about some of our incarnations, some of our experiences. We can merge with some certain versions of ourselves. We can unlock some certain abilities, and this is beautiful and interesting. But yet, it's also important to understand that when we are merging with that, we are also merging with a particular type of trauma which we are to address. And it doesn't necessarily need to be traumatic or painful or anything of that kind. It can also be just a necessity to address, to face that, to shift the perspective, to make a different choice, to behave differently. Like all other ancestors behave this way, and you are to make a shift. You are to behave in a different way, make a different type of decision, forgive. Like forgiveness is a very underestimated and yet very, very powerful tool. And we speak about it in my school in pretty much all the offerings I have, and also where I study with my mentor Jen George in Multiversity GOTC. We speak about forgiveness all the time, because forgiveness is like a really powerful healing tool. It's like an opportunity for you to harmonize on a very, very deep level. And when you're doing it multidimensionally in the let's say past life regression process, you are able to harmonize those distortions which you were gifted an opportunity to see. So forgiveness comes in many layers, 3 sides at least. Forgive them, ask them for forgiveness, and forgive yourself. And this forgive yourself is the hardest, because most of the time it's just like, what do I need to forgive the self for? Or like on the deepest level, it's really like, I might have already done the work. But on the subconscious level, it's still shadowing the experience. Like, for example, you haven't been there for your relative who passed away, or you haven't managed to show up for others the way expected, and you keep this like inside of you, shadowing like, oh, this is a version of me, I am bad, I'm that, I am this. Yet you are to make conscious choices in life, right? So basically, even though you had those experiences, even though all those things that you mentioned or uncover, and they are subconscious for a reason, you don't remember them. You can unlock them or remember them or see them or witness them when you are doing the work, but on the surface level, you don't remember. And when you remember, you're like, oh yeah, it actually makes sense. It actually is possible to shift the perspective, and it is possible to change the narrative. It is possible to make a shift and live a very different type of life in this experience. Recently, when I posted my light codes, and I invited people to look into the light codes and to see like what they feel or what speaks to them. One of the ladies shared that she receives a story of several different light codes coming together, and there were Dragon Mama, there were Lotus for transmuting the betrayal, there was I forgot already what it was, something else, and also the authentic expression. And it's like she was perceiving, she's a psychic medium also, and she was perceiving the feeling coming from that light code as a story. So she felt and noticed that like unlocking the true self. So like Dragon Mama, betrayal, unlocking the true self, and authentic expression. So she felt and sensed and noticed that without doing the betrayal work, the forgiveness work, the like harmonization work, it's pretty much impossible to understand the what your true self is and what he is about. And then with that knowledge, which is like unlocking genuinely and naturally, when you are exploring and experiencing, you are to step into the authentic expression. And this authentic expression is like you giving form to what energy is coming through you. And it's something that is impossible to influence only with the reasonable mind. It's something that you can tap into between the thoughts, between the buzz of the mind, so to speak, and something that you have already have within you and you incarnated it with, yet maybe you forgot, and you are to learn and to look into that. And this is a very beautiful journey that we call life. So when someone is telling me like, look at my picture and tell me what to do, I want something simple, one thing triggers me in this sense: the person wants to bypass the true deep work. He wants a simple solution. He wants not to do anything but to just like surface level, or he just gets overwhelmed and overstimulated with his life and experiences, and he has absolutely no focus span, so he cannot get focused and do anything. So that's something that he might want to address also, but unless he understands that, he cannot do that. Or he just never touched upon that in this incarnation, and really curious and wants to touch upon something, but just has no idea where to start. And this is like a totally different types of experiences and perspectives which I have just described. And it's important to understand that there is a difference between them, because the one who is curious, the one who wants to address the healing and to go deeper into the experience, to understand, to unlock, to look into the self and to express, and he knows that he came here for something bigger, that person is a very valuable type of people around us in this life, because that person can create and give form to a lot of goodness. And that person is not just here for the money hustle, he is here for something more meaningful, which doesn't remove the necessity to have the money. Money is important. Money is something that we sometimes underestimate, but yet it is very important. And it's also very important to have good relationship, good health, good expression, good emotional intelligence, good communication. So basically, it's important to have balance of all the systems. When we have one thing distorted, all other things are also distorted, because it's a balance of the system which we are looking for. It's an ability to center yourself which we are looking for. It's something that we need and we hope to have. And I currently offer Life Through the Heart Space subscription, which is an opportunity to go step by step to different offerings, to different healing things, to different experiences, journeys, and also to open up for a lot which you can do with your own pace, which you can do within the healing bubble where I am holding your space, and you are allowed to be you, vulnerable, creative, imperfectly perfect, because it is unjudgment place. It's a place where we grow together holding hands. And if that is talking to you, it is a subscription, so you can join and you can start your journey today already. Send me a message and we can talk more about that. Have a wonderful day.